Carson-Newman comes back to take down Anderson. Final score 84-79. Andrew Rogers here with head coach Mike Mincey for the Eagles Sports Network. Coach, you've controlled a lot of games at home this year for the 14 victories. Today was a different story to get win 14. Trailed by as many as 15 in the first half, 11 at the break, but scored 52 points in the second half. What was so critical and key in this comeback effort? When you trailed early and often got punched in the mouth, you really responded there in the second half.
I mean, I think you said it correctly. They're early. We were just getting beat to death. They were getting anything they wanted. And if we did have looks, or if we had looks at the rim, we weren't cashing in most of the time. The one thing that we have to highlight is that Maddie Knuckles came in and provided 11 points that from a freshman that we typically don't get. And we decided to go with her. It was our best matchup. Anderson's a really tough team to match up against with their size and speed and athleticism, and it was just made sense for us to get Maddie in the game. And I thought that when she has played, especially today in this game, playing in the crux of the game when it matters, I thought she performed well in the first half and even played well in the second half when we needed her.
Let's talk more about that, because even though the deficit was still 11 at the break, when offense was struggling, she delivered. I think it was 8 in a row there until halftime to cut it to an 11-point game when you trailed by as many as 15. How important was that stretch, not just for her confidence, but for the team's confidence to know, okay, she's helping us out. This is still a game we can get at halftime.
Yeah, I think every game is a different story. It has a different narrative based on how matchups and how people are playing. And, we went with her. We got what we were wanting, because typically she's coming in and resting, Lindsey. But, Lindsey's got to stay against Nelly. And, it's a good matchup between those two. So I don't think Braylon hit a field goal in the first half, I don't believe. And so she wasn't getting a lot done. I think they were sending multiple defenders to Lindsey. And that should mean that other people are getting opportunities to score, and I think that's where Maddie was able to take advantage of that, playing at the 4. And we've toyed around with that lineup earlier about putting her at 6 foot tall at the 4, letting her play with Lindsey and Braylon, and couldn't have waited for a better time to pull it out and use it and her produce for us.
You mentioned Braylon not scoring in the first half. What was different for her? Was it her approach, just shots falling in the second half that allowed her to get going and really step up offensively?
Well, I think it's an aggression. We come out, we're playing more timid in the first half for whatever reason. It was a big game, but like we're trying to downplay it. We're not trying to make it like it's not the end of the year. It's just one game. But I just don't think we had the aggression early. And then when we started getting our butts kicked every which way but loose in the first half, that was one of the things we just kept talking about, is playing with more offensive aggression. And somebody's got to shoot, somebody's got to take shots, and somebody's got to try to take over. Not take over, but just produce and help us. And that's where I really like where Maddie came in. Again, I'm back to Maddie about, the other kids, and we always play hard. Every time we put people on the floor, I feel like they play hard. I think Mac and Tori in particular gave us huge effort plays. But we had 16 offensive rebounds, and between Lindsey, Mac, and Tori, there's 8 of them. So I think we did a good job. Keely had 4 offensive rebounds, and those are effort plays too, because we're not bigger typically. We're just chasing down balls. But Braylon came out in the second half and played with more offensive aggression. And when she can get her rhythm, that's when she's really tough to guard.
First win this year in a game decided by less than 6 points, with a 5-point win today. So we have to talk about down the stretch. Michaela Howey throws the ball away twice. You're probably thinking, I got to take her out of the game, but her defense, her rebounding was so critical. She makes up for it with 2 massive jump shots in the final minute. What did you see from her throughout the day? I know the rebounding and the defense always stands out, but you needed someone to make a shot, and she stepped up and delivered.
Well, that's a great question, and I'll get to it. But that's where, we felt like we had to shorten the rotation. We had to do it 2 games ago against LR at home. It was a low possession game. Both teams were playing in a half court. Both teams are probably tired, but it's not that kind of tired. And I would say Anderson won the pace battle today. There's not a lot we could do to get the game going this way. And so they got into the half court, and then we just had to be like, look, we got to keep certain players on the floor. Michaela's one of them, because of all the stuff, whether she ever scores, it's what she's bringing in other areas. So late in the game, it was a miscommunication. It was a misconnection between her and Campbell. Campbell was flashing. She threw it to where Campbell was. Same thing happened with the other turnover. Campbell's coming to the ball. Mac threw it where she was. So, but I knew we had to have her on the floor. And it's just one of those games where you can look back on and see how it worked out, because I think she hit 2 big buckets late, and then she hit the 1 dagger free throw that I'm so glad that she stepped up and made that, because if she hadn't have, and if we hadn't won the game, that would have been something we'd gone back and talked about.
You honor the 2017 A team after the game as well. Obviously, it's a good thing that you won the game, so that moment was a lot better for you in that team to honor them. But what was it like to do that because this year's team's had a lot of home success, and that team that you honored did as well.
Yeah, I mean, I was glad that I don't know how many of them are back, 10 of them, 11 of them, whatever. You know, they're all out doing well in life, and you know, I'm still coaching a new group, but they meant a lot to myself and to this program. They did extremely well, obviously, that year. And I've been in the league for quite a while, and I'm biased, but I'll say this: it's one of the best teams, if not the best team that's ever played in the South Atlantic Conference, with 32 wins. I know we didn't win against Union in the Elite Eight, but I think they broke like 12 sack scoring records and all kinds of stuff. It was just a fun group to be around, fun group to coach, fun group to watch, and I'm glad to see them all here doing well. Many of them here with their husbands, and some already have children, some are getting ready to have children, so that's just what it's about. You know, get a good degree, play college basketball, and move on in life. And so the win and coupled with that just make it a double nice day today.